I need to make this movie about my awards, and this is for my kids so they understand what they are. My dad, he had a similar table like this, and I was in the military, so I understood what the medals and things were. I didn't quite know why he got all of them. I could guess, I could read old papers, but I didn't quite know for sure. So I decided to make a video for my children so they understand what all these awards are for. Over here, you have wings. Now, how you get wings is you can actually go and train in a foreign country's jump school, or you can do something like just jumping out of an airplane with them, and it's almost like a courtesy trade. Heck, one of the wings in here, I got it for eating dinner with the country, and they awarded me wings after it. On the top, these are Sudanese wings, the gold-looking ones. Now, right beneath them are Egyptian wings. Now, I got that during Operation Bright Star in 1982. When we went to Sudan, it was a show of force. A guy named Omar Gaddafi was threatening the country of Sudan, and what we did was we jumped in with a battalion of paratroopers, and we worked with the Sudanese commandos, and they awarded us these wings. Now, they have their own wings. Now, here we go. Let's go down, 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 down. That is the actual Sudanese wings that you can hardly find anywhere. Now, let's go over here. That is a pair of Sudanese wings that I had made for out of cloth, because the originals were made out of cloth, or some of them, and I had them made for the guys in our unit. But in Sudan, they could not afford to make their own wings. So they just took Egyptian wings and put a gold wash on them. Now, beneath that, it's Belgian jump wings. That's one of the few jump wings that I actually got by going through somebody else's foreign course. And we went through the Belgian Commando School. By the way, that is also a Belgian Commando badge. It's a cap badge. But they awarded us their wings. Now, beneath them, German jump wings. Got that in Fort Benning when I jumped with the Germans while I was a drill sergeant. Right there's the Italian wings. Now, beneath that, that is the wings of the United Arab Emirates. Got that by jumping with them during some missions in Abu Dhabi. And then finally, down on the bottom here, Kuwaiti jump wings. Now, on the side here, this little piece of metal, that's actually a piece of shrapnel that was embedded in a vehicle during Operation Desert Storm. So I always tell people that's the metal that the Iraqis gave me. All right, back up top here. This weird looking thing that says Snowborn, that is the Pakistani High Altitude Mountaineering Warfare Course. It's a course that they made so they can do combat with India in the Himalayas. When I went to Pakistan in 1992, I think it was, we went through that course. Now beneath it, this is 2 civilian medals. It's the Gold and Bronze Citizenship Award from the Sons of American Revolution. They gave me that for writing my series, Nothing But Blood and Slaughter, and all the information that I put out because of it. All right, down here, these 3 wings, these are all American jump wings. You have your novice, your senior, and your master jump wings. Now, behind them, this little piece of cloth is called a flash. If you're in a unit, that tells you what unit you're in. On the bottom, those jump wings are from the 2nd 325, 2nd Battalion, 325th Infantry of 82nd Airborne. The middle one was for the 3rd Ranger Battalion, and the top is Special Forces. Now, the bottom one, you see how it's not real shiny? It is actually made of silver, and it's the wings my dad gave me when I went through jump school, because it was his jump wings. They're actually made out of real silver. After 9/11, the Army went to a different uniform. And in the old days, your combat patch represented what unit you served with in combat, and you wore it on your right arm. But the new uniform, they got rid of patches. Now, what they did in its place was they had a metal emblem that represented the patch. These 2 metal emblems here is the 82nd Airborne and Special Forces. They are the 2 units I served in combat with. I was with the 82nd in Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada in 1983, and I was with Special Forces during Operation Desert Storm. Now, moving over, that is a Randall knife. And you know, because you're my daughters, there are 3 Randall knives. One is mine that I carried through my entire military career. That's this one right here. One is my father's, that he carried in Vietnam. And then one, which has a hollow handle on the end, is my brother's, even though it has my name on it because I had it made for me, but I gave it to him when he went in the Ranger Battalion. This right here is a couple of badges. The one on the bottom is German Edelweiss, award for going through the German mountain course. And I went through that with the Germans, and they gave me the Edelweiss at the end of it. Now, above that is a drill sergeant badge. So people that wear that on their uniform, you know they are drill sergeants or were a drill sergeant at one time. Now, all of these things are just qualification badges for weapons. Now, if you're in the military, you might wear one with one thing underneath it. Pretty much every single weapon I ever touched, I scored expert. So what you see up here, this is an expert badge. And I just put a bunch of the little things underneath it where I got expert in. And the various tabs underneath is rifle, M14, mortar, machine gun, grenade, automatic rifle. That's back when you had an M16 on auto and you'd qualify an automatic. And pistol. Now the one at the bottom is actually kind of a joke. That is a expert driver badge. And we put ourselves in for those after Desert Storm as a joke because we were in vehicles for 7 months and they actually authorized it. So that's kind of a joke. Now, up here, Jungle Expert School. Jungle Expert School used to be in Panama. And then when Jimmy Carter gave Panama away, we pretty much had to shut down the Jungle Expert School there. But this was a patch that you couldn't wear it on your uniform, but you could wear it on a little plastic thing hanging off your pocket. There was a subdued version of this that you could sew on your camouflage uniform. Now, up here are the different tabs I have. The Special Forces tab, Ranger tab, and Airborne because the Airborne units were in. And this right here, this is kind of a joke, too. This is the Physical Fitness Award. If you scored I think a perfect score, you got that badge right there. And in Special Forces, guys were getting perfect scores all the time without even thinking about it. This big long thing right here with the white cord attached to it, that is a German, basically, expert badge for shooting. It's called the Schützenschnur, and it's in gold. Got that by doing a course with German weapons and shooting them. Up top here is a bunch of different coins. I know people collect coins. The original people to do coins was Special Forces, and they did it just as a drinking thing. If you whipped out your coin and somebody else didn't have them, you had to buy them a round of beers. Well, that had evolved where every Tom, Dick, and Harry now has a coin, and so people collect them. And I only keep coins for the units I was actually in. And there's various ones here. Now, that's one of the more interesting ones is on the end down here. I had a coin made out of ivory when I was in Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast. So I thought that was kind of cool, as they copied the Special Forces coin and then made it out of ivory. Now, the other one that is really important to me is a 3rd Ranger Battalion coin because it's numbered. It's from the people that started the 3rd Ranger Battalion. Now, up top here, these are different unit insignias. Now, you have the Special Forces, you have F Company 51st Infantry, which was the LRP unit I belonged to. Right here, this is drill sergeant school I belonged to, the 258 down in Fort Benning when I was a drill sergeant. That one right here is the Ranger Battalion, and the one on here is the 82nd Airborne for the 325th Infantry Regiment. Now, both myself and my father were in the 325th, and both myself and my father were in Special Forces. Now, this weird-looking thing on the end with an 82nd patch attached to it, they gave that to people for being like a squared away soldier for whatever event. It was called the DTA, Distinguished Trooper Award. And all it is an 82nd patch glued onto a expert badge. All right, we're going to way down. This blue thing right here is the EIB, Expert Infantry Badge. And there's a whole course you have to go through to get that. The year that I went through the Expert Infantry Badge, only 4 people made it out of the entire battalion. Now, right beside it, you see something similar, almost looks like the same thing, but there's a wreath around it. That is the CIB, Combat Infantry Badge. Now, that is only awarded to infantry, and you had to be in combat to get it, and you had to be in combat for so many days. Now, underneath these ribbons right here, if you are in a unit, and the unit does something really exceptional, the unit gets an award, and you wear it on the right side of your uniform, your dress uniform. Now, when you leave the unit, you can't wear those awards anymore because you're no longer part of the unit. But if you're in the unit when they get the award, then you are allowed to wear it forever. Joint Meritorious Unit Award. That is the Valorous Unit Award. And that is the Superior Unit Award. All three were awarded for Desert Storm and the operations after Desert Storm. It was an ongoing thing for years. Down the bottom here, this is the Saudi Arabian Defense Medal. There's a little gold Saudi Arabia. It's real gold in the middle. That was given to us by the Saudi Arabian king for Desert Storm. Now, right beside it is the Kuwait Defense Medal. That was given to us by the Kuwaiti Emir for defending Kuwait during Desert Storm. Okay, this one right here is an award that came out actually after I got out of the military. It's the Cold War Medal. Now, it's not an official medal. It was supposed to be awarded, but Congress never voted it in. But it's not something you'd wear in a uniform, and I never wore this on my uniform in the military. All right, right here, that's the one right here, or National Defense Service Medal. That was basically given to, if you just came in the military, you got one. Now, beside it, this is the Desert Storm Medal, and each of the stars on it represents a different campaign during Desert Storm. And since I was in all the campaigns, I get all 3 stars. Now, right beside it is the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal. You notice there's 2 things on here. One is this little arrowhead, and one is this oak leaf cluster. Arrowhead is awarded to troops who are the first ones in on an invasion. Our unit in the 82nd was the first unit to land, and therefore we get the Arrowhead. This is the Humanitarian Service Award. It's for doing, awesome things and not blowing people up and shooting them. And we got that, certain teams got that for basically cleaning up Kuwait City. At one time, I was like the sheriff of a place called Sulabagat and Ashisha Doha, and we got it for that reason. All right, beside that is a Good Conduct Medal. Pretty much everybody gets these. It's basically you stay in the Army for 3 years. Every 3 years, if you don't do something horrible and get kicked out, you get a Good Conduct Medal. Each little knot represents how many of them you got. What you're looking at right there is actually a silver knot, even though it's all tarnished. And so that represents 5 awards, or over 15 years. Now, right here, this next one, this is the Army Achievement Medal. The Army Achievement Medal is given for various things. And you can see I got 2 oak leaf clusters on there, which means I actually have a total of 3 of those. Because the oak leaf cluster is awarded for each additional medal. Now, this is the ARCOM, Army Commendation Medal. Now, if you look up here, I have 2 bronze oak leaves and 1 silver oak leaf. I know you can barely see it because it's kind of faded out. And there's also a V device. Now, the silver oak leaf means you got 5 of them. And so what you're looking right there is a total of 7 oak leaf clusters. Now, the V device I was originally awarded a bronze star, but the same time I was supposed to get a bronze star, I also did something bad. I missed movement. So I did something heroic during Operation Urgent Fury. They were going to give me a bronze star, but they also had to punish me. So they downgraded it to an Army Commendation Medal with a V device for valor. So if you see anybody with a V device on their medal, it means they did something heroic. And what I did, you can read about in my book. I don't need to tell you. All right, next one up is the MSM, the Meritorious Service Medal. I got that for the end of my military career, and it's pretty high up there in the medals, and they gave it to me to just as a going away award. Now, this right here is the highest combat award I have. It's a Bronze Star. My entire team in Special Forces got awarded that for operating behind enemy lines for 15 days and basically calling in airstrikes and messing up the Iraqis. By the way, some of this stuff is rather expensive, so if you just get a wild hair and want to throw it out, I wouldn't. For example, these little rhino wings here, those things cost me over $100 in the 1980s. There are hardly anybody that has these wings, the Sudanese wings. So this little set of wings right here is probably worth several $100s. So be aware of that. Same thing with the chutes and the schnorr. That's probably an expensive thing to get. Some of these wings are kind of hard to find. Some don't exist anymore. Like, again, the Sudanese wings. Oh, and one other thing. This coin right here, I think you guys gave it to me for a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. I said that was kind of cool. And 5th Special Forces Group has always called themselves the Legion because of the 5th Legion. So I just think it's a really cool coin, but it's huge and monstrous. There's no way you'd be able to carry it anywhere, but it looks neat. That should do it, and that should explain all the different awards in my trophy case.